What is up, everyone? What an interesting day this has turned out to be. Welcome, if you're new to the channel. Welcome to the Doctor of Stuff channel. I'm your host, Doctor of Stuff. And just before we get into anything, right? I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm not an attorney. There's no legal advice here. And all I'm going to do in this stream is point out some hypocrisy just in general, and then we're going to look at some blockchain transactions, and we'll go from there. And I'm going to let you guys decide after seeing all that information what you think. But let me give you a little bit of a background, right? So for those of you who don't know, there's a YouTuber whose name is Cavell Anderson, and he's been doing videos for quite some time. And listen, I didn't ever really watch him, but he was pretty popular with the VV community back in the day, right? And I'll say this, he's super good at, I think he's got a knack for marketing. He's really good at grabbing attention, the clickbait stuff, right? He's very bombastic, excitable, and he talks real loud. And so, he attracted quite a few people. Then at some point, right, he got disenfranchised, actually many of the VV community did. And he started talking crap on VV. And look, I have no problem with people who have concerns and they bring up legitimate complaints. I've never had a problem with that, right? I've had some concerns as well. But what I'm kind of just what I'm sick of is people who just constantly attack the VV community, just all the time, And I, for a while, Cavell kind of just exited. And I was like, cool, wish him all the best, hope he's successful, right? But he just keeps coming back. And I don't know if it's because and listen, I'm one to talk, I don't do much with my YouTube channel. This is not my job. This is not my life. I did it because it was fun. It was fun to talk about things. And I do believe that I provide some insight that's very unique because of my background and what I do for a living, to provide insight into kind of just the crypto community, blockchain, a lot of things there, right? But anyways, Cavell recently made a video talking about David Yu apparently dumping some OMI on the community, which, by the way, I'm gonna do some research in that, right? Because there's this claim that this wallet, and it's been this claim for a long time, and that David Yu responded to TG Viper about something and asked him to donate this. TG Viper, if you don't know, he'd made some art before, and so then David Yu wanted one or something, and apparently he provided this wallet address, and this is how people have supposedly tracked this wallet address. So a little bit of background, but Cavell is sitting here talking about how he's dumping on his community. At least that's what people tell me. I haven't even watched it, but I'm just tired of him attacking the community, and especially just I just want people. Listen, if you want to watch him because you enjoy the content and just the craziness of it, by all means, right? But he makes himself out to be this super successful crypto bro, right? That he just makes all the money. Now, to his credit, I looking through his feed, he's owned it and been hey, I've lost money here and done things. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Anyone who sits there and claims that all they do is make money is a liar. No one does that, right? So again, and I'm not out here to sit there and say that when people make calls, that those calls can't go wrong. And if they make a bad call, then they're idiots. The pros, the ones who've made millions and millions, still make bad calls. So I just want to get this all out there, right? Just kind of this preface. But this all started because I responded to something where Cavell was oh, they're not even real NFTs. VV NFTs aren't even real NFTs. And I was and the reason is because they're centralized. They're not decentralized. That was his argument. And I was man, I would love for you to show me where in the definition of non-fungible token it says anything about centralized or decentralized, right? That's what it was. And then this dude makes this video, right, about hey, Elon, you should make it so that people who are down bad can't respond to me or something, I was just oh my gosh, and so we got into it and you saw the drama. Anyone who's probably watching this right now saw the drama. saw the drama. And if not, you should go check it out. It's fun, right? So before we dive into this is gonna be fun. Let's just shout out the people who are here. Truck and Hank, what's up? G Money, Slider, Omicron. Slider says, I take one day off Twitter and all hell breaks loose. I'm still catching up. OG Vault. Here's another guy who's personally attacked me multiple times, right? Like, I mean, I could do a whole video on this guy. Like, he sat there and asked the community, tweeted out, and he actually tagged, he was like, hey, Doctor of Stuff, Crypto Rain, and Randy sit there and pretend like they know what they're talking about. Please give me one example of any calls that they've made. And if you do, I'll give you a free NFT, right? So what's funny is a ton of people actually responded and gave him several examples. And instead of him owning his shit, right, and being like, oh, all right, yeah, I didn't know that, and moving on, he just attacked people and blocked them. So Vault, I have nothing to say to you, bro. Wish you the best, but I hope Mammoth AI is doing super well for you, right? Because how embarrassing is that for you to become the face of Mammoth AI, and then they rug like a week later. But please tell me how I don't know anything about crypto. Thank you. Get out of here, bro. All right. Here we go. Let them cook. They're trying to redirect attention off the shady stuff. No, listen, you guys go investigate this stuff. I had no issues with that. Like, so anyways, let's just get rid of this guy. All right, so there we go. Cavell, all your content is reactionary, gaslighting, garbage, followed by I do my own research and I have my own convictions. Just took a hike already. Listen, when people do their own research, like I have no problem with this, right? But again, when someone is sitting there calling out and saying, oh, like they're dumping on the community, and then they've potentially done that, that doesn't jive with me. So anyways, we're going to dig into this a little bit. So let me share my screen. We're going to start here. Let's see if I can't find what day is this initial tweet that he does here? April 28th. Maybe he's deleted it, but I got screenshots if he has. But I don't think he did. I think that actually Cavell, he'll just own it. He's not shy like that. So let me pull this up here. April 28th. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, he hasn't deleted it. So let's share the screen. Here we go. All right. So this is where it kind of all starts, and it's weird because he keeps talking about like Ron's cryptotherapy or something in this group. Like I don't know what he's talking about. Like I don't know if like Ron and I are not like best friends or anything. We had some run-ins on Twitter as well. So this is all my information. I don't like. I think he's alluding that like Ron has given me stuff, but like I have done the research, and this is where this all comes from, right? And why I sit there and think like, hey, Cavell sitting there saying that he knows all about crypto and whatnot, and he's this, again, crypto trading bro. But he posts this on April 28th, right? Today he shows 2 transactions in the same day for very specific amounts, right? And he's like, well, I FOMO'd a little bit more into Chuck. I have no regrets. Still got a bag on the side, waiting for a dip, though, on April 28th. Now, I don't see anywhere, by the way, a little bit of a background. Apparently, Chuck, as they were spinning up this token, this meme token, they approached him. And look, Cavell, correct me if I'm wrong here, but they approached him and they were like, hey, we'd like you to do some marketing for us, because I'll admit Cavell's pretty good at marketing. Like he does a great job at that. I have no qualms against that. But anyways, so they're like, hey, we'll give you some of the token. That's my understanding. Correct me, Cavell, if I'm wrong on that, right? But so I don't see anywhere here, by the way, on Twitter as he starts talking about Chuck, right? So the token launches. I could go back and check on Dex Tools, but I think it's like March 24th or something. But I don't see anywhere where Cavell talks about that he is paid in the token to market this, right? To start talking about this. That's a violation, by the way. To not, if you're getting paid in a token and then you're going to talk bullish about that token. No, again, maybe he has. I'd love for someone to show me where that is. But anyone who lost money on Chuck technically could probably go after him for not disclosing that he was paid to talk about Chuck. So that's, but again, maybe he did. And I hope he did. But, examples of this, and look, I don't think that the SEC is going to go after Cavell Anderson, right? But if someone wanted to spin something up, that's when it gets more serious. If someone else wants to take action on that. Like I've seen people threaten to go after apparently, the VB team and stuff like that for legal stuff. But anyways, so I'm not seeing that. And again, I'm showing you I don't see where he talks anything about this as he starts all of a sudden talking about Chuck. But maybe he did on one of his videos. Anyways, so let's get into this, right? April 28th is when he says, let's go back here. So when Chuck launches, it's got like a pretty vibrant community and the token's doing pretty well. It's doing pretty well. And so he makes this tweet and says, where'd that go? April 28th. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to provide a little bit of context with this. Let's get back up. All right. So yeah. So he makes this tweet, and that's another important one, right? This 44356. Where did that go? Okay, so these are the two transactions that he has, right? So what do? I go to dextools.io and I search for these transactions, right? I go through the filter and I'm able to find that there is one wallet on April 28th that actually purchased these amounts, right? So we're going to go to that wallet. And then we're going to kind of go back and forth between that wallet, right? And the transactions that happen in that wallet. And then when Cavell's tweeting stuff, right? Now, before we even do that, let me say that there is a possibility that at some point early on, Cavell sold his wallet to someone else, right? And that it's no longer his wallet. That is a possibility. But we're going to look at this address and you guys tell me. You guys make the decision. But before we do, let's get some more of the comments here. Mark Wynn, what's up? Shout out to Cavell wearing a VV 2K. I don't know how to say that, man. Took. How do you say that? Well, he complains about VV and driving. Cavell versus Ben G, part 2. Does Cavell actually live with his mom? I don't know. I don't know. Probably. Guys, in the end, VV is a digital collecting app that has huge pumps. 2021 tokenomics changes. Everyone should have sold. Stop crying now. Anyways, let's look at these. Smack that like button, guys. Yeah, I'd love it if you guys are interested and you like this type of content. Hopefully not this type of content. I typically don't do this, just as an FYI. But anyways, what's up, Seb, Omar, and while listening to this, Zach R. What up, Mark? Okay. Cavell's laughing, as he always does when he doesn't know how to answer. And that was like the funny thing, right? He did this whole thing trying to Elon about like people shouldn't be able to respond to him. But he didn't answer the question, right? Because he couldn't. And he doesn't have a justification. And this is something I just want you guys to think about this, right? And again, you guys make your own decisions. But there is this like thought process out there, like this narrative that if you're in a centralized platform, they're not real NFTs. Now, listen, those people might not be interested in walled garden NFTs. Doesn't mean they're not NFTs. Like that's what I just don't get, right? And like you could get from the purists because like there are people who are like, well, it's not on chain. Well, okay, then the only freaking like actual like there are very few NFTs who are actually minted on the blockchain. The majority are not, right? Most like maybe ordinals, right, where there are inscriptions like on those tokens, like on Bitcoin. Okay, maybe those are the only pure NFTs. And then, you know what I mean? Like the narrative falls apart so quickly for people who are like, oh, only Ethereum ones. But it's like, well, most of those haven't given up the rights. They can change the picture profile of your NFT, right? So like, is that still centralized to a certain extent if you don't have complete control over that? Like, I don't know, right? But again, he's making up this narrative that like NFTs. And I was like, listen, all I'm asking for, dude, is show me where it says centralized is a part of the definition of a non-fungible token, and he can't, right? So he laughs as if that's going to be like a good answer, right? Good for you. What's up? Show David Hughes transactions selling only. Who cares about Cavell? Kiro, I'm gonna do another video. I'm gonna dive into this, right? I'll look into this. Honestly, I will, because again, I do try to be transparent, and I've said like some things that I'm frustrated about Vivi and how they could be a lot better, right? Like, I'll own that. So I'm there, man. Let's see. Chuck is Ron's project. Yeah, I believe it is. Is this the guy that told everyone to follow his moves for life-changing gains? I'm pretty sure that Cavell at one time was demanding that if people were serious about making life-changing money, that they would move to like New York, where it was closer to one of like Amazon Prime's or Amazon's I don't know, the stronger internet connection or something like that. I was just like, who is this guy, man? I was dying. Anyways, you weren't paid. It's not being paid to talk about the token. It's that you were paid to market the token, and you were paid in the token. You were paid to market the token, and you were paid in the token, right? There's a conflict of interest there if you're shilling the token and you're being paid in the token and you're not disclosing that. Look up the law, bro. Something I'm quite familiar with. Anyways, how is it you guys can use DEX tools but can't figure out how to verify that Vivi doesn't have NFTs? Sowulo, like, I know that's you, bro. You've changed your name because you were kind of being a punk, and so I banned you from my streams. Like, Vivi doesn't have NFTs. Again, it's whether or not the majority of people like the fact that it's provable. Like, I mean, I'm not going to get into all of that, right? But like, again, then most NFTs aren't NFTs. Like, that's all I'm going to say about that, right? Slider, Abe, first one here, always like. All right, let's try to jump into this. Hey, so Cavell's saying, invite me on the stream right now. Cavell, I'll send you the link in just a second. Okay, I'm going to send you the link, but I want to be able to talk, and I want you to talk over me. I don't know how you're going to react. I've never had you on stream, but look, I'll have you on. I'll have you on, so that you can defend yourself in this stuff, right? And we'll have an honest discussion about this. Rican saying, don't invite him. Look, I'm here to just show some stuff, right? So like, if he wants to come on and we can chat, that's fine. So Cavell, we'll chat about that. All right. Yeah. So he doesn't know what I'm talking about, and that's interesting because yeah, he made this post, and there's a thing called DEX Tools, Cavell, where you can search out a token contract address, and you can see all the transactions, the buys and sells and things, right? And it tracks wallets, and that's what I did, right? So, anyways, look, enough of that. We're gonna we're gonna go to the wallet, and we'll dive into this. All right. All right. So well, I mean, like, you know, there's this, but maybe he sold the wallet. Like, I don't know, right? But Cavell Anderson.base.eth does seem like it might be Cavell Anderson's wallet. But so let's get this timeline, right? April 17th of 2024. 1 million Chuck is deposited into the wallet. Then there's some other transactions in here. This is fine, right? But I want to go back to that tweet that he had where he swapped 15,920.745 Chuck and 44,356 Chuck. This is how I found his wallet, right? So we're going to find that transaction here on the 28th. All right. Yeah, here it is. Wow, that was a lot faster here. So here's those two transactions, the 44,356.214 and 15,920. Again, you can go onto Cavell's page and you can see that he said that I FOMO'd a little more into Chuck and I have no regrets. Still got a bag on the side waiting for a dip though, right? So that's important. So now we're going to go back to his tweets in this timeline. And we'll start diving into this, right? Because what I was talking about, the reason I'm doing this video is he makes this tweet here. So a little bit of a background is at some point, like Chuck was going pretty bananas. Like it was doing pretty well, especially people who bought in initially. Like there were some pretty significant gains that people were experiencing. People were tweeting about it all the time. Like it definitely had some hype. But what happens is that there's one of the OG investors apparently, or like they bought the token super early, something like that. But they bought a lot of the token, right? And then at some point they panic sell, and I think within like a couple transactions they dump, and basically like it's just this red candle like crazy, right? And people start panicking, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we're being rugged. This is a rug," and everyone's panicking. All these things, right? And so during this time, and that's in May, right? We're gonna go here. Let's jump up here because you get these tweets as things. Listen, there's some funny tweets that he's got. I have to give him that. It's pretty funny. We'll all be rich off Chuck. Chuck to a buck. That was a thing that he talked about. Getting real life friends and investing through Chuck. Your network is your net worth. All these things. He's very bullish. $10 Chuck. There you go. $10 Chuck. Save this tweet and you can use it. Call me out later, but I'll bet this. That's VV stuff. I thought that was Chuck stuff. But actually, good call of Blackpink. Blackpink did not do well. Let's see. All right. Chuck. We're getting into this here. Look what it's doing every single day. I'll be talking about this. So again, he's talking about these things. All right. I'm going to get to this here. Just kind of scrolling through, make sure I don't miss anything. 2-cent Chuck. I thought $10 Chuck was next, but okay. This is kind of funny too. I threw a little change into OMI just to celebrate the move over to base. I thought we're all idiots for holding OMI, but okay. There's that. Okay, so Chuck's still doing well this time, doing well, and then it starts to kind of tank. Let's see here. Right. When is this thing? Well, May 13th is when he makes this tweet, but I thought that there was some more stuff here. Okay, they tried to attack. So this May 11th, it starts. They tried to attack Chuck, but that's not enough. It was an even better buying opportunity for me personally. So on May 11th, right? So we're going to be saying that on May 11th, before May 11th, like he should have been buying. According to this, like he's alluding to the fact that it's being a better buying opportunity. So we'll see if he's bought that. Maybe he did. I don't remember. Okay, for the record, the dev or team didn't sell a single penny. Are you part of the team, Cavell? If you're paid to do marketing for them, would you consider yourself part of the team? I would, if you're paid to market for the team. But maybe he's just talking to the original team who set up the token, so that's fine, right? All right, so here we go. Things were getting very stale and boring. Well, Chuck needed a little entertainment, keeps the blood pumping. Again, he's kind of referring to, okay, pretty obvious. I didn't sell and was buying more. Okay, so when is this here? May 11th. All right, so here we go where he says he has not sold and he is buying more. So let's check on that, right? Let's check on that. May 11th, remember that. Okay. All right, back to these token transactions here on, a wallet that maybe Cavell sold, but it still has his name on it. And by the way, let's just hypothetically, if you sold the wallet, didn't you sell the tokens? Right? You did sell. If you did sell the wallet, you actually did sell. You sold everything. It was OTC, but you still sold, right? So I don't know how you get out of saying that you didn't sell. Whether or not you sold the wallet that had the tokens in it, then you still sold. But let's just look at the blockchain transactions, right? Okay. Cavell saying okay, my bad. Okay. I thought that he said that he had sold the wallet. I thought that was one of the claims that you were saying, that you had told Ron that you had bought Chuck on 3 different wallets, but that you had sold one because you knew that they were going to be tracking that wallet, so it wasn't yours. That's what I thought that you would say. Actually, you are responding. I'm letting you respond here, Cavell. But hold on. So I'll get you on in just a second. But again, I want to lay out the facts here as the blockchain lays it out, and the Twitter timeline. I think that's important, and then we can discuss whatever you want. I'll send you the link, man. Okay. Okay, so remember, May 11th, he says that he has not sold any. Okay, well, let's check this out here. What do we have here? See these tokens that are out? This is a 1-inch aggregator, so he's probably using 1 inch to swap out and to sell the tokens. So he is selling Chuck. Chuck is leaving this wallet, and in comes $487 of USDC. Again, this is May 3rd, right? So he's selling and he gets another 486, and then he sells again and does 242. And then out of this wallet, he transfers $1,215. Again, all of this on May 3rd. While we have him on May 11th saying that he's never sold a token. So my question to you guys, does that constitute a pump and dump, right? Where the token is tanking, he's trying to talk it up, right? And saying, hey, this is great. I haven't ever sold. Everyone keep holding. And yet the blockchain is saying something completely different than what he is letting his followers believe is happening, right? So something to sit there and think about. And that's my question. That's my question to you guys, right? It goes on. There's multiple things here where, all these tweets about him not selling. Let's see. Let me find out when this one is here. And I'll bring you on in just a second. Oh, here's another one. Oh, so there's another fun tweet here that I'll share. And then, listen, then I'll bring Cavell on, right? I'll send him the link and we can have a chat. But hold on, Cavell. Before I bring you on, the minute, right, that you start name calling or anything like that, like, we're done, right? But if you want to defend yourself on this and tell me what you were doing and why you made those tweets, I'd love to hear it. I think the whole community would love to hear that. Okay, so sorry, let me share just this one more tweet again, and then we'll get into it with Cavell. That'll be fun. All right, so I believe it's the 13th. And listen, I will shout out Cavell. I think that some people would have tried to delete their tweets or something like that, and so he's going to own that. And yeah, let's see what he has to say here in a second. Oh no, that did not just happen. No, we're going to get there, guys, because it's important. No, this is not gonna. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. We're getting somewhere. Yeah, and then we'll kind of wrap it up too with kind of like the drama that happens apparently afterwards, which is kind of funny too. But on May 13th, he tweets this out. Wait, what? Where did that go? May 13th. No, there's a different one here that I am not seeing. Oh, no, this is it right here. Oh, May 12th. I thought it was May 12th. I have not taken profits at all, nor do I plan to. Chuck is something I believe in. My last project did this for 3 years. Not sure if you've heard, so I have pretty thick skin. Top dogs are still holding, so it can only fall so far. And the farther it falls, the more I'll buy as it continues to dip. Having a good time. So again, that's the last thing where he's basically saying I have not taken any profits at all. We've looked at the blockchain transactions; those tell a different story. And yeah, so we're gonna do one more look at the blockchain transactions on a couple other things because he does end up buying. He does end up buying some more, right? But again, like I just want you to just think about what people say, right? And then what they do. And it's pretty easy to sit there and say one thing and then the blockchain tells a different story. And that's all I'm trying to do here, right? So there's that. Here's the token transfer one more time. We're going to kind of look some more at these transactions that happen. But so, yep, on the 3rd of May, he sells. Looks like, again, sells some more Chuck here for $985. So quite a few. So listen, he made some profits. He made some profits off this. But the whole point of this is basically when someone's saying, hey, I'm holding, I'm not selling anything, but then they accidentally expose their wallet and it says something different. I think that's important to know. And especially when someone's out there criticizing David, and I'm going to do some research into that to really see these claims as to, what the connection is, how people are straight up saying whether or not that's David's wallet. I'll dive into that on another video because again, like I'm not afraid of asking questions. And there's some questions that I don't have answers to. And I've been very transparent about that. I don't know where the Spider-Mans went and like those things and the Obi-Wan's NFTs. Those are questions that like I still don't have answers to. I still believe that overall VV and digital collecting is going to go forward. And so I'm making investment decisions off of that while still asking questions in a professional manner, right? I think that's important to do. All right. So he sells more, but like I think that there's some Chuck in at some point in time here. We're getting into these later transactions. He's selling Chuck again out, but here we go. So he does buy some more Chuck on May 11th. He does buy some Chuck here on May 11th. So maybe he did sell some, and then he's like, hey, like I'm gonna. Well, that's weird. So hold on, you transferred out some Chuck, but then got some. I'd have to look into this transaction some more. What's going on there? Dig into that. But regardless, the bottom line is right, and then he kind of gets sour on it, like him and the team. My understanding is that Cavell was like, "Hey, I want to do some more," and apparently Ron or the team was like, "Nah, like I think we're good. We kind of just don't want you to be the face of Chuck anymore. Like you're too controversial. You're bringing up too much stuff." And so then all of a sudden there's all this back and forth and things sour there. And by the 27th or 28th, he's selling all this stuff. So listen, without further ado, I'm going to bring Cavell on, right? So he can defend himself here. I think that's important to do. I don't know if he'd give me the same courtesy, but that's okay. We'll see. Maybe he would. I'm not following him, so let's see if I can send him. I've been sending him a message. Bro, I can't send you a message, man. I know how to send you a message, bro. Yeah. If you want to follow me, I can. You can send me a message, and then we'll get you on. But yeah, tell me the best way to get you this link. That's what I'm going to say. So listen, we're going to dive in. We're going to dive in here. Cavell saying I have nothing to hide. Okay, I mean, listen, I've just pointed this out. If he's got nothing to hide, like I'm just pointing out the tweets and the timelines and where he's saying that he hasn't sold a token, and then that wallet, cavellanderson.base.eth, which I tracked through the transactions that he posted where he sold that he bought tokens, show a different story. So like, again, whatever you want with that. You do whatever you want with that. Beerman, shout out to you. It's fun to meet you in person. Let's see. But so can I like I this is a serious question here. Like let's say hypothetically that it is David's wallet, right? And like I'm in a ton of other Web3 communities, and like I have founders like of projects that I'm in that they're selling their tokens. And they've sold a lot more than anything I've seen from this wallet sell, way more. And no one in the community is saying crap. And the token's not doing well right now. And no one goes up and says like, why are you still selling into this? If you don't believe it, like it's mind blowing to me. The people that just jump on this, and this is saying like assuming that it is his wallet. I don't even know. I'll do some research in that and I'll look into it, right? But for now, like it just doesn't make sense to me. And it was like 28K, right? They sold like 28K. He's got like tens of millions of dollars worth of OMI, and he sells 28K, and so apparently he doesn't believe in the project. Like I don't get that connection, guys. I don't get that connection. Let's see if Cavell is telling me how to get him on. I messaged you. You can send it. All right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, here we go. He did. Okay. Accept that. Here we go. Okay, Cavell. I said, you know what? That link didn't send. I hate how this does this with StreamYard for some reason. If I copy and paste the entire link, it just comes up with this thing. But let's try this again. All right, sent you the link, Cavell. I'd love to hear his comments on that. There we go. Just waiting for him to join. All right. Mr. Cavell, welcome to the stage, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. And yourself?
It's been a fun, drama-filled day, you know? Who doesn't love the drama?
It has been entertaining. It's been fun.
Yeah. So listen, man. You definitely, and like I said before, I think that you're great at marketing. You have always been able to pull people into your streams with that. Very bombastic and kind of just like larger than life person, and you know. And so I think that when you say things, even people who are like, I don't like Cavell, will watch some of your streams. They do that. And so I have to give you kudos for that. Like, I don't have that. That's not my intent with this YouTube channel and things. Like, I don't have that skill. But it's concerning to me then when certain statements are made and people do follow you, that are they following someone who's going to lead them astray, right? Or like, and are they being told the truth? And that's where I took issue with your latest video, right? About David and selling and basically dumping on this community. And I'm like, well, hold on just a second, man, because you've done that yourself, or it appears so on the blockchain. So let's I've laid this out. I would love for you to refute anything or give us any more context. I think that's only fair for you to be able to come on and refute anything that I've said there or talk about this. I'd love more context or information.
Well, obviously, I started my crypto journey around VV time. OMI and all of that. That's really what got me going hard into VV or into crypto and stuff like that. I mean, I had like Dogecoin on Robinhood or something a long time ago, but that wasn't nothing. But yeah, that was the start for me. So when Ron got me involved and all of this, I learned that they could track my wallets. They could see a lot of information. And at that point, that's when it was people affiliated with that team saying things about me that I didn't like. And I felt like some of them were snakes, but based on how Ron was talking, he felt differently and he wasn't the same as them. So The people on his team is the people that I didn't trust with information to try to expose me to say when I sold, say when I do this, and say when I do that. So that's why I started a whole nother. That's when I got my second phone, and I actually started having multiple phones, multiple accounts, and things like this, and starting to have different wallets and stuff. So that way I can keep things separate. So when I say I didn't sell, did I technically sell on an account? Yes, I have technically sold, but I had the equivalent amount of that token still on another account. And that's what I meant when I said I have not sold, because I still held the same amount of tokens. I just sold it on the account that was trackable. So I sent Ron a message telling him that I was doing this, by the way. That's the screenshot that you saw in the little video where I was laughing at Dr. Prophet. I sent Ron a message letting him know I have been buying Chuck on 3 wallets. I have people in my family who got in Chuck, and I have friends who got in Chuck. And I showed people the group chat. Like, to this day, if I bring up crypto to that friend, he still tells me I lost all my money in Chuck. So this was not some ploy to get at people. It was stuff happening behind the scenes with Chuck. And that's why I made the moves that I made, because I was trackable. Obviously, as per what you're doing right now, this was the whole reason that I did what I did.
So let me just make sure that I'm saying this in plain English for me and everyone else. You're saying that when you sold the token, you took those proceeds, moved it to another wallet, and then bought the token on that other wallet?
No, I was already buying on the other wallet. I was already buying on the other wallet the whole time. I sold on that wallet so it wouldn't be trackable. So I was taking my money out of that wallet when it comes down to the Chuck. I didn't want them to be able to track what I was doing with Chuck, because that community in particular, I had a bad feeling that they were going to do some shady shit when it comes to me, and then they tried to attack me. They literally did. Like that's exactly why the whole thing went the way that it did, because they did exactly what I expected them to do. And that's when I started feeling shady about it. But Ron still seemed like a cool guy. I'm a fan. I've been watching your videos for a long time. These guys don't know you. I've been watching you. And he was talking to me like this. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's just them. I trust him since he's the owner. So I'll stick around. But at the point where he started acting different, started threatening me, it was crazy.
Ron started threatening you?
It was threatening messages. Like, I actually forgot what he was saying. I got the receipts. Like, I have the receipts. He was saying like, "Oh, I can't believe you're this type of person." And all this. Like, he was making accusations against me without ever coming to talk to me. And it's like, you have a direct line of communication to me, and you're sitting here listening to random people who don't even know me. You could have just came and talked to me if there was a problem. Like, as far as how I act in my videos, that's one thing. But I am a character for the internet. Like, you know me. You've talked to me. You've talked to Cavell Anderson, not the YouTube marketer. Like, it's a completely different thing. So the fact that he would treat me that way when we could have just communicated and talked like men, that's where the issue lied in. And when I saw that he didn't have integrity and it looked like he was trying to dump on people, that's when I start sounding the alarms, letting people know that, nah, this looks shady. That's when I told my friends to get out. That's when I actually sold on my other wallet. Like, I have 2 other wallets. I had 2 other wallets with Chuck at that time. I had 3 wallets total. The wallets that everyone knows about, and then 2 other wallets I was buying on. So I sold completely at a certain point, but it was after all the alarms went off. I stayed in the project even after we got into that beef on Twitter. I was still in the project. But then at a certain point, when it got out of hand, I just sold completely out of the project, and I told everybody.
Yeah, I do remember you posting, being like, "Listen, I'm out all the way." Well, I guess here's my question, right? Like, everything that you're saying, I can't verify. Like, I would have to see some sort of transaction showing that you did that. But if you were able to show me somehow that there was a second wallet that you were buying and that you own that wallet, or something, then I would absolutely come back right on and be like, this whole video I made, I stand corrected because Cavell showed me otherwise. Right? I'm not out here to out anyone with some sort of agenda. I just, with the blockchain stuff, and that's why I'm having you on, right? I want you to have your say. And listen, I don't believe that you're going to want to show me that wall, and that's fine, right? But like, as it stands I have nothing that I can, like, I can't say that this isn't true, that you didn't sell. I mean, that you did sell, and you told.
What I can say is, before any of this exposing stuff, before I knew, I got wind that you had tracked my wallet and y'all was plotting videos and stuff like that.
Who's y'all? Like, this is just me today, bro. Like, this is.
I don't know. I was told before they have tracked your wallet. Someone who was just commenting in your comment section said we have all his wallets, And I've already been warned like months ago, like when this happened, that people had my wallets and was planning videos and things like that. So I already knew this was coming, but I just didn't know who was going to be the one to do it. But the fact of the matter is, no, I'm not willing to share my wallets because it's private. I don't want I don't want all my transactions. But I did share the proof that I told Ron like before I ever got exposed or whatever in question. I have proof that I was messaging Ron telling him I have multiple wallets with Chuck. I have 3 different wallets with Chuck in it. I have proof telling people that I have multiple wallets. So why would am I plotting ahead of time to get exposed in the future? Like, I mean, and apparently I'm not that good of an investor, right? Like, so how am I plotting ahead of time to have an alibi already if I'm that trash at investing? Like, so it's like the story ain't really adding up. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know the blockchain and all this stuff. And suddenly I'm a mastermind where I'm getting my alibi together months in advance or in advance. Like,
look, like all I can say is this, right? Like without any like people can say that I sold my wallet. I have other wallets where I bought Chuck and stuff, but like unless there's proof there, all I can say is the proof that I'm able to find here on the blockchain tells a completely different story than what you're saying on Twitter. And so that's all I got. And that's what I can go off of. And that's what I think the audience should see there. Now, again, I could, if I wanted, I could dig a lot deeper into all of your wallets, right? And like, and unless you are really, really good at hiding those things, I could find that. I don't care to, man. Like, I feel like this speaks to itself. But now everyone on the community has heard that Cavell is saying that he has multiple other wallets, that he was actually buying the same amount of Chuck. That seems a little weird to me, but
I was telling Ron this in private. I told Ron this in private. This was not public. It was no reason for this to ever even come out public until I just got attacked with it. Now the messages to Ron come in handy. So this had nothing to do with anything. There was no reason for me to just have this in my back pocket. Like, and the conversation isn't that. It wasn't even a great conversation. Me and Ron was arguing. So it's not like it.
Yeah.
But I mean, people can believe what they want to believe, but I have no reason to lie. This is why I judge and I talk shit the way that I do, because you would be stupid to talk as much shit as I do and be easily exposable. Now, if I do something, I admit my wrongs. Like y'all are regular people to me. I have no I don't care. I try to be as honest and transparent as I can. That's pretty much all I can do. People are going to believe what they want to believe, but the fact of the matter is, I did sell at a certain point, but I made it very clear. I always make it public. I made it clear when I sold Omi too. I make it clear when I sell everything.
I do have to laugh at Ameli's comments. Tokens were sold on another wallet I control. I don't know if you remember that, the whole debacle with that girl. But anyways, listen, man. Okay, like I want to make sure that you had your say here in this. And like it did seem very, like I don't know. I'm looking at what's in this wallet. This says it's your wallet. This is just one of your wallets.
That's my public wallet. Yeah, that's why I made it have my name and stuff, because I know that's the wallet people know about. So I don't care if people track that wallet, look in that wallet. That's perfectly fine with me.
All right. Well, listen, man, I didn't want to make this video super crazy long. I feel like I just feel like I wanted to call that out, man. And I'm glad that you were able to come on, that you wanted to come on, and that you had your say. And everyone can kind of make their conclusions as to what that is. But my claim is that it looks, at least with this wallet, that Cavell was saying that he wasn't selling any, when even technically, even if he was buying another wallet, he was selling. Whether or not people can, if that's true, I wouldn't consider that selling. I would say that, right? If he's buying the same amount on another wallet, but then he's selling to get out of that public wallet, I would say that's not selling. I don't have any proof of that claim that he has another wallet where he was buying the same amount there.
This is the real messages with Ron. This is the part that I was talking about. You can kind of read it if you want, but
yeah, look, if you want, Cavell, I can show, because didn't you make a post or do you want to tweet that out and I can share the screen so people can read it if you want that extra.
It's in my last video, laughing at
okay. Yeah. So listen, you guys can go to Cavell's channel, where he shows that.
It's on Twitter. It's on Twitter. I tweeted it.
Okay. So Wes says Cavell is being transparent. Handshake there. All right. Listen, I wanted to call this out there. I wanted to point this out. Now, the other thing, Cavell, I'm going to do though, because I think this is important. And I haven't seen actually people, and maybe you can give me some more context here, because I didn't watch your last video, but like my understanding, because this has been out there for a long time, that supposedly people have David's wallet and that it came from Viper had done some NFT stuff, right? And David Yu apparently, or David Yu's account or something like that, said that's awesome. And Viper's like, let me send it to you. Where can I send it? And then David Yu posted in a wallet address, right? And then so that's how people got this address and tied it to David. Am I correct in that?
That's what I've been told. That's what I've seen. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do some research into that. And maybe that's the case, right?
And to make it clear, I'm not the one sitting around coming up with allegations. Like, I see what's going on, what's being tweeted about, and I cover the news and I give my opinion on what's going on. I don't do deep dives into if it's really his wallet. It looked like his wallet to me. And then the sources that tweeted out this is his wallet for sure is people who I know also track the blockchain. So I just assume that they know what they're talking about. So I'm not sitting here claiming with 100% certainty I stamped that this is like, but I'm covering the news and the narrative that's going around. So that's what I do in my content. I speak about the narrative that's currently out there. I'm not the one sitting here attacking the project. Like, if this topic is what's being talked about, I will frame it in a way that's going to draw attention. But all I'm doing is covering what's already out there.
Well, so look, I mean, you got Vivi, man. He's been making quite a lot of comments about this pump clause. I'm not familiar with this, but I have heard that there was like a pump and dump there.
Ron just pump and dump that like last week.
Yeah. Listen, so like, regardless, and this, I say this even about myself, right? I've made some calls that aren't correct. I think it's very important for people to do their own research. And it does piss me off to a certain extent when people sit there and they're like, well, this person said this and I got wrecked and it's their fault. I think everyone needs to put on their big boy pants or their big girl pants, right? And own their decisions. No one forces you to buy anything. We constantly, as YouTubers, or we talk about things. And as much as I give crap to OG Vault for, becoming an ambassador to Mammoth AI and then at Rugging a week later, we all make mistakes, man. You know what I mean? And we all try to do our best and stuff. But at the end of the day, you guys do your own research and you make your own decisions about this. And you got to own that, right? But I think it is important to then point out, and this is why I did this, Cavell, is because it looked to me like you had done a pump and dump where you were saying something, but then the transactions were saying something else. I'm glad that you were on here to sit there and say, I have other wallets that I was buying, so that's your response to that, and people can take that at face value and believe what they want. Several people here are saying that they feel like you're being transparent, and that's good, right? Like, let's see. I'm just looking to see if there's any comments or if there's anything you want to talk about. But here's the thing. Like, first of all, I don't like when people come out and attack you, and they will, like, you post a video and maybe it is a little bit, not a little bit. Sometimes it's pretty aggressive in the attacks against Omi or the VV community, and then people attack you back.
I'm a fan, bro. Like, I am legitimately hurt by the things that I am seeing from this project because I don't just. Luckily, like I say this in my videos all the time. Luckily, my saving grace is that I literally was fucking broke when VV popped off, because that I would have been in deep right at that point too if I had money to put in. But I actually started building at that point in time. I didn't have much to put in the first place. So it didn't do. I honestly made more on VV than I had. Like, my vault value was like 200K at one point, and I think I got out with like 50 or 60 or something like that. But
hold on, Cavell. I'm gonna catch you there. I'm gonna say that I have some information that would definitely show that you did not pull out 50, 60K.
I have my VV transactions.
I'm gonna let you correct yourself on that. You pull out 50K.
I don't know the number. I don't know the number. I had
a lot less than 50K.
Huh? A lot less than 50K is crazy. What do you think I pulled out? Let's hear your number. Because I done seen y'all say some shit like 2,000. Like, so let's hear your number. Because I do have access to my VV account. So
yeah, less than 6K is what you pulled out at the top.
Okay. They said he said I just pulled out less than 6K. I like, come on.
No. You're okay because you keep claiming you. So hold on. There's a difference here. We need to talk about.
I'll log into VV right now. I can show you all that account.
Yeah, that's fine. But let's talk about this, right? Because there's a way to manipulate numbers to make it look. So this is what I'm saying. Net 6K. So how much money you put in total, and then how much money you took out, those net gains. So when you sit there and say, like, my wallet was 200K, my wallet was 350K, right? I did not pull out 350K.
Mine was 200, and I put in 3K.
Yeah, I put in 4K. Mine was 350K.
But I never said that I pulled out 200. I never said I pulled out. But to say that y'all want to spin the narrative that I pulled out,
they're like
y'all put out. I still put out a hell of a lot more than the majority of the community.
That's true. I like, listen, if you pulled out any money, you pulled out more than the majority of the community. I mean, that's true. That's true, right?
Y'all are spreading 6K, talking about nowhere near 50. If you're saying nowhere near 50, that's crazy.
Show me. Crazy. You want to show me? Like, I want to see how much money you put in.
I've tweeted out. Like, you've been going through tweets and stuff. I've tweeted out.
Tweets.
People said I literally showed exactly. I showed what I sold my Secret Rare Spider-Man for.
If you want, and I can.
I showed what I sold my Secret Rare Spider-Man for. I showed what I had, like 2 collectibles that beat all the numbers that
sold your Secret Rare Spider-Man for 20K, and then you used that 20K to buy 10K Todd's, and then you sold your. This is what I'm saying, though, man. If you I sold I sold the Pride poster for 12K, right? But I rolled it into freaking Batman Croc statues at 3K each, right? Like, people made mistakes. Like, I mean, Hello K.
Y'all using that?
How much money that dude bought into Donald Ducks, right? But that dude was throwing serious cash at Donald Ducks. So, anyways, I just.
Oh, don't worry. I'm logging into VV right now.
Yeah. But again,
I'll show you one transaction that completely just blows what.
No, that's not going to prove anything, bro. You can't just show
what I withdrew. Like, what I withdrew. If I show you that I withdrew more than you're talking about, what are we talking? Like, what?
Because I got to see how much you put in, man. If I put in 50K and then I pull out 40K and I'm like,
hold on. So I live in my mama's house and I put in 50K. So what? Like, y'all narratives ain't adding up now. What you want to see? You need my social? Like, what's going on?
That's why you got 50K, because you live in your mama's house. You have to pay rent, bro. She's doing your laundry. I got to pay for all that stuff, man.
That is insane work. Y'all be wilding.
Listen, regardless, we're putting out great entertainment. The ergonomics got to be looking crazy. Unrealized gains that were never realized. That's my thing, right? Unrealized gains. My
unrealized was around 200. I literally realized exactly what I'm saying I realized. And I put out screenshots proving that before. I showed withdrawals directly from the VV app. So I don't know where that 6K number came from. And people were saying that it was an inaccurate app. And I knew for a fact it was inaccurate when I saw them numbers that y'all was saying that I pulled out. It was crazy. I don't know where that data came from, but it damn sure wasn't me.
Listen, man, like, I've got a very, very reliable source that was showing me your net profits. And it's.
Well, that reliable source, unless VV leaking some shit, that reliable source ain't that reliable.
Well, wait a second. So hold on. Unless VV's leaking some stuff, then all of a sudden, then it is reliable. Not that they did. They didn't. But
it would have to be VV. And even if they weren't, it's still full of shit. I know what I pulled out. I know what I had going in too. So, like, for VV to have really changed my life the way that it did, because it did change my life. So, I'm not going to dispute that. My life is not changing from 6K. I'd make a bunch of clickbait videos on my other channel and get that a month. So, yeah.
OBL's telling us to play nice, man. All right, OBL.
What's that? I gotta look at it on the web. I can, because it's not showing my withdrawals on the app.
Well, I think it says what is it? VV.me, right?
VV.me. I can log in from there? Yeah. Let me see.
But we got, let's see, this this is funny. No, listen, I think no one cares if Cavell made a few bucks 2 to 3 years ago. No, listen, I've said one of my claims, right, is that I've said that I don't think Cavell has done as well as he says he does. And one of my things was VV. So this is why it's important. If he can prove me wrong, I'm not out here to sit there and just spin this narrative and then not let people refute that. That's not cool, right? That's not cool. So listen, if you can prove me wrong here, And then maybe offline we'll sit there and we can chat, and I'll go back to my source and see if there's some information that maybe Cavell's not sharing here. But
Okay, yeah, I put these up before. Hold on, I'm gonna take a picture. This was November 14, 2022, November 12, 2022. I've been cashing out. Like, I'll just take pictures of this. All right. So I'll just make it pretty.
Listen, if you don't even if you just want to share it where I can.
This is more than what you said. These two transactions right here is more than what you said I cashed out, right? You said 6K.
Yeah, that's 15. Yeah, that's 16K. It's showing 16K right there.
Those are two.
Yeah. But
so that's more than the rumors, right?
Yeah, right. But this is why you need the full transactions, man. Because if you put any of that money back in, which we wouldn't see in those transactions, we have
look
no
at when
way
I
to
sold.
verify the net.
Did you see the date when I sold? Why would I put that money back in when Vivi was damn near dead?
You tell, like, I don't know, but I'm just telling you right now, Cavell, that's listen. I work with numbers and yeah, I won't get into what I do, but basically I'll just say this, like, you need to see the whole picture. And if you don't have the whole picture, there's narratives that can be spun. But
it sounds like you have a whole picture that I don't have, and it sounds like you have a picture that only the Vivi team could give you. Is that what you're saying?
You can go on Stacker, bro, and you can start seeing when people sold and what the floors were, and you can start doing math. You can do all of that. I can go to your account and I can go through every transaction that you had, right? And basically within a generalized form, start saying, here's the net purchases and the net sells. And then
you should do that. Y'all might be surprised. Because if you did that and came up with 6K, I can tell you that's crazy.
All right, man. All right. We'll see. Super Dank Hank doesn't like me very much. Says I should take my Moon Boy hat off and do some research on it. I've done a lot of research on Comey, actually. So, but like, that's all right, man. Like, you do you. If you don't like it, Comey, I'm not telling you have to. But
so you think Comey's just been honest this whole time? Everything's perfect.
No team is like. Did I say that? Like, no.
Well, so what do you feel about all these rumors and all the stuff that goes on? Like, all the over the counter, like the deal with Denny, like the deal with Denny. How do you feel about that?
The Danny Boy Liak?
Yeah.
So I think that Danny Boy, and this is just my opinion, right? But it sure looks like Danny Boy. So it looks like there was some issue with the Pride 2 stuff, because this is about the time that Danny Boy Liak starts getting into this, right? And all of a sudden there's this OTC deal that's never been done before, and it's crazy, right? We see this, we're all upset and everything. And Danny Boy Liak at the time is like, oh, you guys shut up, like, you know, Vivi can do what they want, and like he's all for this, right? Like he's all for this, it's all benefiting him. It looks to me like there was some sort of funny business going on where Danny Boy is threatening something. And so then David Yu is just like, listen, you know what? Like, or I don't know if it's David or someone on the VV team is like, listen, we'll make this thing, we'll do this OTC deal, and that will pacify you, right? And that should just make you whole or something, because he's claiming damages or something like that, right? And so then this whole OTC deal comes up, right? But this guy, I've seen messages, man. He's sending all these very threatening messages to people, demanding, he's like, you need to send me your name. You need to send me your address. You need to do this. I'm thinking legal action. And he's just like sending all this freaking BS out to everyone and his dog, right? Like the dude, it's just like, lawyer happy up the yin yang. I will probably get some message right now, even for saying what my opinion is on what I think might have happened, that he's going to be like, I'm going to sue you for this. And it's like, you know, good luck, bro. Good luck finding me or whatever like that. But like Danny Boy, if I'm looking at that, Danny Boy to me is the shady mofo in that whole transaction. Danny Boy. So next question. That's
why would David Yu put himself at risk by giving in to somebody doing that? Because he made his own business look bad giving in to somebody like that.
All right. So let me give you the full picture of what I have heard, and this is all conjecture, right? This is all I have to go off of. And if anyone has more information, but my understanding is that Pride 2 drop, there was something, and it wasn't tied to Givenchy. The original Pride poster was, but this other Pride 2 made it look like it was. And then there was some issue with the guy, and I don't remember his name, some prince or some guy that was tied to
Ray
Pride
Fixie?
2. No, not Ray Fixie.
Oh.
No, this other guy that Randy had interviewed. I can't, but he was tied to that like heart drop with the Pride 2 and things. And basically, people thought that the Pride 2 poster or like the Pride 2 stuff was tied to Givenchy. And then so Danny Boy, if you look at the transactions, he bought a ton of Pride 2 stuff, right? A ton. And then it freaking rugged once people found out that it really wasn't tied to Givenchy and it was this other guy and things. And I think that Danny Boy then went and said, you guys mismarketed this. And because of this, I've experienced losses and I'm going to sue you guys unless you make me whole. That's my supposition. I could be completely wrong on that, but these are the rumors that I've heard. And that's where he's done no other like OTC deal with anyone else ever before. And we look at this guy, Danny, and we can look at how he acts, and he's very litigious. And then you just put the pieces together, right? And you look at the character here of Danny Boy, and to me, it does not look favorable. Amar Singh, that's the guy's name. Amar Singh was tied to the Pride 2 stuff. So there you go. There's my thoughts on that, right? Do I think it was okay? I don't think they should have done any OTC deal. I did not like that. I did not like that at all. And if they were going to do that, I think that they should have opened it up to a lot more people to do.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you feel about the allegations that Discord mods were being paid with collectibles and how Vivi always seems to put their debts off onto the token or onto the collectibles and they pay people? It's not from themselves, but they use the community to pay people. How do you feel about that?
So I would say that happens a lot in other communities. I would say that according to the blockchain transactions, it looks like Hello K, who was complaining about VV mods being paid in collectibles, looks like he was paid in McFarlane Toys collectibles for stuff like that, and then he was selling. So does it happen? It happens. People companies will do that too. We'll pay you in stock. So Facebook, when the guy was they wanted this big art piece on their wall when they were first opening their first business, right? And instead of paying the guy in money, they were like, listen, we'll pay you in stock, right? Because we don't have a lot of money right now, so we're going to pay you in stock to do that. This happens all the time. So like now listen, I can understand where people are like, well, you're diluting the floor. And it's like, okay, but if now you know that that's a practice, then you operate how you want to operate. If you don't like that practice, then don't buy. But like, they did that. Other communities have done that. That happens a lot, man, in Web3. I've seen so many projects, NFT projects, where the founders, they keep several, and then, hey, people who have advised them, they'll give them some Bored Ape Yacht Club. Bored Ape Yacht Club did that, bro. Like, all these communities do that. So to sit there and say, like, that they're the only ones who do this and that this is, like, malpractice or something like that, it's just someone that's misinformed as to, like, how businesses operate. It happens all the time.
I didn't say it was malpractice. I wouldn't say it's malpractice, but I would say it's definitely.
But some people have claimed that, right? They're like, this is illegal. You can't do this. And I'm like, well, it's not illegal, first and foremost. But go ahead.
I don't think it's in good taste, and I don't think it's been effective because clearly with all the stuff that they're doing, all this business that they're doing, why is the project still going down? Why is it not changing anything? Why is it not done anything positive on any front for this project?
Wait, say that again.
All the stuff that they're doing, it's not having a positive impact on the project. It's just making them look bad, making their reputation go worse and worse and worse. It's not beneficial. So you think that all this stuff that they're doing is okay, even though is because these other projects will do it, even if it's a meme coin. It's like these other projects will do it, and it don't make the whole project look horrible. Everything that they do makes the project look terrible, and it's no positive benefit for the holders at all, ever. So do you think that this is okay? Framed in the context of what's going on with Vivi in this community. Like the David you sell, I believe that owners should take profits as well. I'm not mad at them selling, but I feel like you're supposed to eat with your people when you're a leader. If your whole community is suffering and you're taking profits when the price is already down, or you're part of the reason the price is going down, I feel like that's kind of, if you're a millionaire already, especially, that's kind of messed up. So I feel like they neglect the people. The people is the ones who is constantly getting disrespected, and that's the perspective that I speak from. I feel like they disrespect the people a lot, and I consider myself one of the people, even if all the people seem to be against me. But
yeah. So hold on, we got Immutable Nodes, who this guy attacks me quite a bit, but we'll show him what he says here, because he says, where'd that go? Show proof that Hello K got paid with McFarlane Collectibles. Liar, right? I mean, if you guys want, I'll find his wallet address and I'll show you what looks like airdrops into his account that he didn't pay for with McFarlane Toys. And Kay said that he was an advisor to the company for certain things, and there were airdrops to his account. I don't know how else to look at that, Immutable Nodes, but it is what it is. And if like, I can maybe I'll just send you his wallet address and you can do the research yourself. I'm not going to do another video on it, but I don't make these statements without at least looking. And it absolutely looks to me like there was an airdrop of collectibles to his account. So there you go. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Like to be honest, right? But my understanding was Kay was attacking Vivi for doing that, but then he also got that from McFarlane Toys, and that seems hypocritical to me. Maybe he wasn't.
They seem to do it. They do it in a dumb way though. Like they make enemies of their biggest influencers, and they give it to people with no influence. They trying to keep the people who can't really do anything around and happy, when the people who literally have all the attention is pissed off, like seeing everything negative happen, and then it's coming out that y'all been giving people special treatment when we've been the ones carrying this project. Me and Vault get hate from the team. It appears.
Now hold on. Here's one thing though, right? That like Vault is very toxic, man.
I've seen some of his stuff. I've seen
the way that he goes again, right? Like he made a tweet, like I said, about me and Randy and Rain, and basically calling us idiots and that we don't know anything yet. We put ourselves up as some crypto experts, and he said, give some examples of right calls that they've made, and he got a list, right? And instead of owning his shit again and being like, you know what? Okay, all right, I didn't know that, right? And just backing off, he attacked every single one of those people, man. And he promised them NFTs, which he then didn't give. So Vivi should not be touching that guy with a 10-foot pole, okay? That's my opinion on it. The guy is extremely toxic. And when I'm looking at building a company, I don't want people like that, right? That like can't even own their mistakes. Because there's one thing to sit there and be like, all right, I made a bad call, or I got it wrong, and own it. That's life, man. We all make bad calls, right? You just got to own that stuff. But instead of doing that, you double down and you just block people and do stuff like that. Now, done. Like I hope Vivi literally. I mean, they haven't blocked on everything. There's a reason for it, bro. There's a reason for it. Now, on some of your videos, you do get very aggressive with Vivi, and you say some stuff, man. Like you say some stuff that's very attacking. And again, I think it's important to at least try to be like, on the stream, be like, now I don't know for a fact whether or not that this is David's wallet. That's got to be the first thing. People are saying that this is his wallet. I don't know. So I'm just going to go off this, right? And we'll talk about that. But I think it's important then to create that buffer, right? Because now I'm going to go in there and maybe it is. Maybe I'll be like, hey, this legitimately looks like his wallet, right? So yeah, anyways. But give me a second, because I might as well. Let me find where I have. It might take me some time. I got to find out where I have the wallet. Hello K's wallet. But while I'm doing this, keep asking me some questions about things, right? Like again, like I try to be when I do these things and I talk about Omi, I try to be as transparent as I can. And I bought all the way down. I bought at 007, not like 007 or 008 is when I first bought into Omi, right? And it's just been a ride down. Now I've sold on some of the pumps, but then I bought back in at lower, right? And because I do believe that Omi in the long term is going to do well. But I tell people about diversification. I have made a lot of money while my Omi bags drop, and I just add more to that. I'm still making great profits in other projects. I've talked about Entangled. Entangled made me a lot of money. Devio has made me a lot of money. Supra that just launched has made me some great money. Like I've definitely like made money in this space. I wouldn't be here. But like I made a lot of money on animal concerts, but like then I bought some more. Like I'm still net positive with that, but then animal concerts looks like they rug, right? Like I'm saying, like, we can own our stuff. We can call things and we can believe in something and then just own it and be like, hey, here's what I thought. And then this is what happened. But with Vivi and Omi, the thing that, like, there's all these frustrations, but what I do see at the baseline is a company that, while most like Recur, I mean, like how many other Quid, all of these other projects that were supposed to be Vivi killers, right? Like they died, and Vivi is still building, man. And there's a token attached to it. And as long as Vivi is still kicking, Omi's got a shot. And if people don't understand that, but like the way that I play things, right, is more like I can't trade on a day-to-day thing. I can't do it. I don't have the time. So what I try to do is I find projects that I believe in the team and what they're building. And I'm like, can this hit a narrative in the bull run that could make the token go up significantly, right? And I've got different bags. There's more blue chips, right? But then there's a lot of wild speculative plays. Like I invested in Gunzilla. I don't know if you know Gunzilla, the project Gunzilla, or Off the Grid. Have you heard of the gaming?
Yeah, I've heard of
Off the Grid. So Gunzilla is the parent company to Off the Grid. I invested in Off the Grid three years ago, right? Like when they were hoping to prayer, and they're issuing the white paper to investors in pre-seed, right? And they're saying, here's what we plan to build. Like I've done a ton of pre-seed investing. I've read so many freaking white papers, and I'm telling you, I still think Omi has a chance, right? And when people sit there and say this is a dead token because it's going down, I'm like, well, a perfect example was Genome Token, which was in the decentralized science narrative. We interviewed on Crypto Rain's channel. We interviewed the CEO. I was like, this is a phenomenal idea. Bought the token, made some money. I sold for some profits, and then the token basically went to zero. Like there were days where it traded 3 cents in a day volume, and then CZ was like, hey. Now that I'm out of jail, I'm going to be looking at decentralized science, and I'm going to be investing a ton in decentralized science. And that project that had done nothing, I mean, they've been building the whole time. They were still working, right? All of a sudden, that token shot up significantly just because of a narrative. So there's a difference in how people invest, and I think that most people don't get that. They don't understand that. Where there are traders, you know, like what's his name? That big technical analysis guy. Why am I blinking out on his name? God's entry, right? And he's like Omi's a dead token, and I'm like, still seems alive, man. It's still pumping and things. But maybe from a trading perspective, if he'd said, look, I'm a trader, and I'm looking for high volume and things, and so I'm not going to trade this token. It's too risky with the low volume. It's hard to do TA on this. I have no problem with that. My investments are, I'm trying to buy things that I think are undervalued, and if they hit that narrative or they keep building, that they have the significant chance to increase. Now that hasn't happened yet. Like the bull run's not like fully here where things are euphoric, and I could be wrong on that. And I tell people all the time, I might be wrong on Omi. I don't think I am. This is why I talk about it. But I diversify, and it's so important to diversify, man. Because the other thing is you get too tied to if you only have one investment, and that happened to me early on, where I had like 3 tokens. And I'm seeing all the other tokens pop off. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, my tokens aren't pop. I was like, I got to sell into the pump. I got to sell into this token, right? And I made rookie mistakes all the time. And I was like, I need to diversify so I can keep my emotions in check, so that even though some of these tokens aren't pumping, I do have tokens in different narratives that are pumping. And I can like help counterbalance, right? That emotional thing, because it's so hard if those emotions are pulling. And that's what I see from a lot of the Vivi fan. And I don't blame them, but they're very emotional about the fact that like they've held on to their token and all of a sudden has gone down and they haven't diversified. But I talked to the people who also bought at the top and have dollar cost average down, and they're diversified, and they are as calm like as the like a morning lake, man. Just like they don't care. It doesn't faze them, right? So that's all I try to share with that stuff. But I'm down to talk more about like any of the concerns there, right, with Vivi, because I have noted those things. But at the end of the day, as an investor of the token, right, and I still own the collectibles, I've also got to say, do I think that Vivi is going to survive in the short term, medium term, and long term? Those are all questions. If I don't think they're going to survive in the short term, then I sell, right? Because I'm like, listen, like, because at some point it's going down. I think Vivi is absolutely here for the short term. They have enough money to, and we're going into the bull run. And if they hit a narrative that their war chest, right, is going to be worth a lot of OMI, and they can sell some of that and make some more gains, they're still making money off of drops. So I think in the short and medium term, they are still very much going to be alive. And they're going to be alive long enough in the bull run that OMI token has a significant chance of hitting one of those narratives and pumping.
Well, how do you feel about the fact that no exchange seems to be willing to go near it? And the ones that they do have is dropping like flies.
That's a great question, right? So it's concerning, like a little bit, right? Big Get, who I think just listed in like February. So one of the things, like there's several things, and I don't know all of them, and each exchange is going to be a little bit different, right? But each exchange, they might have different metrics of what they care about. Of like, here's a token that we're going to list, and when we're going to delist them, right? So trading volume is a big thing. Big Get was never doing a ton of trading volume on it anyways, right? So, but it's not a good look. It's not a good look. Now, if they were doing 70% of the trading volume on OMI and then they delisted OMI, that's the investor side being like, yo, this is a big deal. This is a big deal, right? It's still not a good look that Big Get dropped them, but Big Get could be like, maybe the trading volume wasn't sufficient enough. They weren't making enough fees, right? Because they've got to pay people. They've got resources, and resources are scarce, and they've got to allocate those, right? And if they're saying, is there a token that we believe will perform better on our exchange with higher trading volume, we will get more fees from, and they're going to make all of those decisions. So it's not a good look, but am I fully concerned? No, because there wasn't a ton of trading volume on it in the first place. But then second of all, like they're moving to base, and base is where I really see things kicking off there, because they get their foot in the door. Now, if they're one of the largest, if a lot of the tokens are on base and a lot of the tokens are being traded on base, then they can reach out to Coinbase Ventures, right? And be like, hey, we're one of the largest tokens on your on base chain, right? Let's talk about this, right? Can we get listed on Coinbase, those type of things. But I mean, like that's my thought. And again, these are just my thoughts and how I'm acting and where I'm putting my money, right? But like I literally just bought about 3 million more OMI, which isn't crazy, nothing crazy, but I bought another 3 million of OMI like 2 days ago. Well, everything's down. Like I'm still actively buying this token, man. But and that was after I need some water. Big Get delisted. Give me 2 seconds, bro.
No problem.
Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. All right. I should have brought a bottle of water with me, man. But yeah. What else? What else we got?
Well, I guess that makes sense when it comes down to the exchange delisting. I don't know. I just feel like the fact that why do you think that we haven't gotten put on any exchange yet?
I think. Well, okay. You say we haven't got put on any exchange. We did get
like
put
major
on
ones,
right?
major
ones. So like you're talking Binance, Coinbase
and
Kraken, or like US based ones, right?
Yeah.
There's a couple reasons it could be, but and then I'll say why. Like I do believe that they will probably get listed on Coinbase this year or 2025. That's my assumption. But one of the reasons is they do look at community sentiment. And look, bro, I mean, you and I just fighting on Twitter there, right? Like, that's not a good look for the OMI token. It's not. And when they look at the community sentiment and stuff, and they're saying, do we want to list that? It's not good. Now, I think that Ben Rose has done a lot to change the sentiment overall about Vivi, and but he hasn't been able to talk about OMI. Now, I think that part of that is probably because of this lawsuit, that it seems like it's ending, and it seems like it's going in favor of Vivi. I was going to do a video on that. I need to read because there were some core documents that just came out talking about that, and it appears like things have gone Vivi's way. But if I'm now, people have said, like, listen, there was this whole lawsuit with XRP, and Coinbase still sold XRP, and I was like, actually, they froze my XRP on Coinbase while that lawsuit was going on. When I was super new to crypto, and I was like, this is like 2019. I'm like, I want to like dip my toes in this. I bought some ETH when ETH was at all-time high. I put like $400 in, and like within like 2 weeks, I think it dropped. My $400 dropped to like $80, and I was like, yo, what the heck's happening? I'm like, I got to get out of this ETH thing. And so I'm like, everyone's talking about XRP. I'm like, I'm gonna buy XRP. So I buy XRP, and like within a month, the SEC like filed a lawsuit against XRP, and my XRP, $80 worth of XRP dropped to like $20, and it was frozen. I couldn't trade it right on the exchange, and I was like, I'm out of crypto, bro. I'm like, this is not for me. I'm good, right? And I took like a 2-year or like a 1.5 year hiatus from it. But like, so yeah, like exchanges are concerned about lawsuits, right? And so did that have a big impact? Like, I don't know for sure. But there's like community sentiment. They look at the volume that's being traded, and is that enough for them to list on Coinbase? I don't know. I don't know what their metrics are, but I think that volume is a big deal, and that's where I think that Stacker and Omi the NFT is going to be very important for that, and the ability to purchase Omi with a credit card. I think that that's a big deal. Now, I think that the way that VV is going to be marketing in 2025 is going to be completely different with an affiliate program, because we saw what happened with Logan Paul, and when he shilled Omi, right? And it was in tandem with NBA Top Shots going wild. And I'm sure that people are like, I want to look to see if there's any token associated with NFTs. They're going to buy the crap out of that. And it was on a crappy exchange. Omi was on a crappy exchange, right? Like, and it's still pumped. So just because it's not on the best exchanges doesn't mean it still can't pump, but it should be on. They've been around a long time now. So I'm expecting, and listen, I will definitely take a deep look if in 2025, during the bull run, VV is not able to get, like Omi is not able to get on a major exchange. I'm going to say, what's broken here? Because I do think that there's something wrong that I'm missing there. But I think transaction volume and community sentiment are two big things that exchanges look at, and both of those are not good right now.
So when by the way, the NFT thing, when I'm referring to their NFTs, what I think the point of an NFT is not the technical, but what I would purchase an NFT for is the value, what it actually does. Why is it valuable? Like something just coming first. There's no history associated with it. Like a comic book, real life has survived burnings, all type of stuff. Yeah, 100-year history. Cool. I understand why that's coveted and why that's valuable. Something that somebody just put on a blockchain and said, hey, we put these numbers in first and it does nothing. I don't. That has no value in that. And then you can't even store it in your own wallet. Even though I think Stacker does something like that now, or something. So with some of the collectibles, anyways. But yeah, with VV's NFTs, what do you believe the value? Like why would it be a narrative outside of the IP? The IP, that's a huge narrative, to be fair. But outside of that, and then the VVverse, it is a glorified showroom. So what is the value in the token? Like, in order for it to 10x from here, I think that'll be like $1 billion token. Like, how high do you see it going? Why would it go there? Like, and do you just think just because it's an NFT, if that narrative comes back, it'll boom? Or a gaming token, or what narrative do you think would actually push this token anywhere, and why?
Okay, so a couple things just about like utility of the token. We see most of the time, the things that pump have no utility. Meme coins have no utility, right? Like, but it's all gambling, and people are like, if I can get in early, I'm gonna throw in some money and see if it goes up, right? Because I want to make some money. And a lot of crypto in general is just speculation, bro. That's why that genome token pumped, even though the team had not done anything different. Just because CZ said, I'm going to be investing in decentralized science programs, all of a sudden decentralized science, like you look across the board when he tweeted that, and you go research decentralized science, like Web3 products, and if they had a token, those things pumped without them doing anything. And some of them were so low, like the pumps were like 50, 100x's, right? Now, I don't remember what the trading volume is, because that's very important too, right? If it's 100x, but the trading volume is only $1 million and your token's worth $5 million, well, you're not exiting $5 million, right? You might get like 20, 50K out of that before you then take the price of the token by selling, right?
Yeah.
But narrative is important and attention is important. And that's where I think VV's marketing, working with, now that they actually have an affiliate lead, that they actually are going to, I've talked to the affiliate lead. He said that I could announce that, right? Like, I haven't signed anything with them or anything, but like I was just talking to them, and they are very serious about affiliate marketing. And I think that is going to be a big difference in 2025 in the reach that they're going to be able to get. So there's that. Just attention, which I think crypto is so important there. And that hits the narrative. We're already seeing NFTs kind of come back and pumping. But my speculation is on where VV can hit some different narratives. AR, VR, they can hit their metaverse, kind of like with their VVverse. Although I do think it's just more expanded showroom, but it's way nicer. And if you can invite people in there, and you can actually have a place where people actually do congregate, because you got Sandbox and Decentraland, and their tokens pump like crazy. There's like 30 people in there a day doing nothing. People complain about like 1,000 users on VV. It's like Decentraland's market cap is massive, and they got like 30 people in there, if that, on a daily basis. VV's got a lot more than that. They got a stronger community than Decentraland, but the attention has been on the token, right? And those tokens are on exchanges. So I think that VV, if I'm VV or I'm Nakomi, right, I'm going to be saying we got to get on those big exchanges, because that's also an attention thing. It's got to be as easy as possible to access the token. Now, getting on base has made it way easier for people to purchase the token. You can actually use your like straight up on your Coinbase wallet. You can legit buy OMI on base straight from your wallet. Like you just are like, it's connected to your bank account, and you're just like, I want to buy OMI. Bam, it's one click OMI into your Coinbase account, right? Coinbase wallet account, not your Coinbase account. But anyways, so the accessibility is key there. But like, so there could be the AR narrative, the VR narrative, the NFT narrative, the metaverse narrative. Like any of those could absolutely do that. But we're starting to see NFTs come back. But where I think the possibility that the NFT narrative could be very strong is when off the grid, to me, is at least right now crypto's best shot at truly onboarding the masses to crypto, and they don't even know it, right? So it's a AAA level game, very much like Call of Duty. It's this 150 battle royale extraction game, right? And people have been playing it. It's on Xbox and PlayStation. That's massive, right? And gamers are playing it, and they're playing it because they like it, right? And what Off the Grid has not done yet is they haven't opened up the mainnet. And so people are just playing, and they're getting these NFTs, but they don't know they're NFTs. But then they're going to open up the mainnet, right? And then all of a sudden, people are going to be like, they're going to get a message and be like, hey, you earned this golden box or this golden pistol. Do you want to sell it on the marketplace for $50? The floor is $50. Someone's going to be like,
crazy.
Like, what? Like, what do you mean, right? And what's happening is all of this is in the background, right? Like, they have no idea blockchain's even going on. They're just playing the game. Once they start realizing, like, yo, I can play a game I like. I don't have to be some major influencer. I don't have to Twitch stream, and I can earn money, right? Because there might be like Conquest where it's like, it's going to take you 1,000 hours. And there's only going to be 10 people who can get this. The first people with 1,000 hours playing this, they're going to get this super rare NFT, right? But then there's going to be some dude who's like, there's no way I'm playing 1,000 hours, but I'm going to buy that. Gets worth 1,000 hours to me. I'll pay 10 grand for that, right? Like, and people are just like, I'm just playing a game I like. That to me is then people are going to be like, what is this NFT thing? What is this? What's blockchain? What's going on? There's going to be investigation, and it's going to be NFTs, right? They're going to be like, what are these NFTs? Because they're earning NFTs in the game. And that's going to be it's going to be a switch for them. And I think that is potentially where the NFT bull run really happens, is people are like, what other NFTs are out there? What's going on there? And they're going to say, who has major IP NFTs? And remember, they're coming from gaming where like they've just been using their credit card, and they've been purchasing the guns token in the background. They don't even know it. Guns are just like gems. They're buying that cryptocurrency. Now they can go on to Stacker, and they can buy, Elsa. They can buy Mickey Mouse, right, with the credit card, which is actually buying OMI, and they don't care what it is. They're just using their credit card, and they can buy that. That's where I really think that OMI, like that whole narrative could hit. That's one of the different, like and that's a big what if. That's a big what if, right? Like, I want to be very transparent about that. But like, I do think that there's a lot of different ways that an NFT narrative could hit. And just like what happened last time when VV collectibles pumped and OMI pumped, you had an NFT narrative. It was on a centralized platform, right? It was very hard to buy the token, and all that stuff pumped. Now, again, there were locked tokens. There was a lot less circulating supply. Like, so there's all that too that to take into consideration. But do I think that can still happen? I absolutely do, man.
I think that is tougher. That's a great selling point. That's actually a great narrative, a good perspective. But I think where VV falls short in that for me is that they get onboarded because of this cool experience, a whole game, and then this whole shock of, oh, I can make money from this, and that's amazing. And then you just go to VV and it's just I have a collectible that you can do nothing with, and you can put it in the showroom and just walk around next to somebody. And then you coming from this whole shooter, like how does that? Where does VV value lie when it comes down? I think that VV is going to be compared to stuff like that. Off the grid was just the first, but what else is going to be there by the time VV has anything that's going to be make it a real factor there?
So I'll say a couple things, right? If the VV verse is awesome, I could see that being like a Minecraft, where there's people that are in there and they're just building like crazy, but they get it built with major IP, right? With Minecraft, they're building blocks. Like I've got this like buddy of mine, and his son has spent 500 hours building like a Harry Potter like castle, like Hogwarts castle, right? Yeah. And it's amazing, and that's his social flex. Do you know how much money he spent to kind of get some of the tools and the things to do that? But now you can do that with Omi, and you can buy certain things to help build that with IP that you love, right? The Batmans and the things, and so you don't have to build a Batman out of blocks. You could just get the Todd. You can just get these things, right? So there's like one aspect there. I'll tell you what, man. I got 2 kids, and they are constantly asking me to shoot videos of them with Iron Man shooting them dead, right? He's got that little blaster, and I do a little video, and they get hit with it, and then they fall down, or Hulk smashing them, or Hulk smashing something like that. There's a lot of reasons that people want the collectibles, man, and some of it's just nostalgia. So like I know that people are like, each NFT has to have a utility. Not really. I think now, I don't think that all NFTs are going to pump. I don't think all VV NFTs are going to pump, but I think some of the big blue chips will, because it's a social flex, right? Like you look at Bored Ape Yacht Club, and like initially, like, I mean, it got you into parties, you know, but it was way more of a social flex, and people were paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for that social flex. I'm part of the club, right? And do I think that VV could get there with major influencers? I'll say this. I've been talking to a major influencer who owns has VV collectibles and has a big bag of Omi. This YouTuber has tens of millions of subscribers. Okay, knows extremely famous people across the world, and he's like, listen, man, I love VV, like Omi. He's brought up questions, definitely like legitimate questions and things, but he still holds his bag, and he's like, there's no incentive for me to fully talk about that until like the app is really rolled out, right? And there's things to do. So that's where I think that the VV verse is going to be important, and Stacker, really, that Omi to NFT is going to be important. But you get that guy on the affiliate program with millions of subs, and he's incentivized to get these people onboarded and to talk about using the NFTs and how to do this, right? And to take pictures with your kids, or like do all of that. And you've got 10 Logan Pauls doing that, right? Like that's all possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, right? But like, again, the affiliate program is going to be a big deal. And like, there are use cases for the NFT, but sometimes the NFT is just like, I own the NFT, and that itself, because it's rare, is a social flex. There's that. And then just the nostalgia of it. There's some collectibles that I own. I have so many freaking DeLoreans. I love driving them and stuff, but I bought the DeLorean before they were drivable because it was the DeLorean, and I loved the DeLorean, right? Like, so like that's just me, man. Like, but there's a lot of reasons why people could buy it, but will they? I don't know. Like, that's yet to be seen.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. It could be a good narrative, I think. I think that could definitely be a good narrative. Do you know if they have any plans of actually making, because that was one of the thoughts that I had too, the whole building things. I actually compared it more so to Fortnite's, their creative part of Fortnite. Do you think that there's a do they have plans for that? Like to make it so you can build like a Minecraft or something like that?
So one of the things that like I really hope that they are doing is if they would just partner, like, so Disney bought some of Fortnite, right? They bought some of Epic Games, right? And like there was that image. I don't know if you've seen that image in like the Fortnite land or something like that, and it freaking looks like a partner statue in
Yeah,
there.
I saw that.
And like, so is there the possibility that Vivi could partner, like get Disney and be like, listen, we're going to have some skins in Fortnite. And the only way to access those skins is if you own the NFT on Vivi, right? So you got to like link the wallet there and stuff. And then there's additional utility there. So they don't have to 3D rig their NFTs to make their NFTs playable in games. Right now, what that would cost, like I don't know, right? But is that possible? And it would be like, the only way to do that is you have to buy it in Omi or like I don't know, right? But regardless, if that happens, and they could do that with more than just Fortnite, right? Like they could partner with a lot of different games, and they'd have to talk to that specific IP and say, listen, and maybe it's only certain IP. But if you own a Batman on Batman with this game, if you have this skin, then you can have that skin in the game and play, Gotham Knights or something, right? Like, so there's a lot that Vivi absolutely could tie in. I hope that they're working that angle because that would absolutely, to me, cement them, right, like in the space as like we
Yeah,
are a serious project doing this as we're making these massive connections.
yeah.
To be
That's what that's what I think is needed. Something that really legitimizes VV more. Obviously, the IP is great, but I mean, these are legendary licensors, so that stopped being impressive to me years ago, personally. But at the point where you have serious projects taking you serious, or an exchange taking your token serious, or something that legitimizes you in that way, where you're doing proper things tech wise and innovative things tech wise, that's what would be that really would show that they have been working. But then we hear interviews come out and they're saying that, oh, they haven't really been focused on the token. They basically have been misleading the effort that they're putting into certain areas that we thought was getting a lot of effort. Like I was so Batman would be scaling walls, you would be able to quit your job, all this stuff. And what I see is showroom 2.0. It's a little better, but yeah, I don't think that that's going to move the Omi token. But if they do actually deliver these things, I believe that these things would. But I just don't have faith that this is their plan. Like, because why can't they just say that this is the plan? Like, you don't have to reveal everything, but you can just say we have plans of doing things similar to that. Like, do any of you all talk to them where you all could know if it's even on their mind to do things similar to that?
Like I'm with you, right? And one of my big criticisms, like if you go back to any, like a lot of my videos, man, where I say transparency is key. So was I super bugged when we weren't told that Vivi had to pivot from the Viviverse because of Marvel Comics, right? And that whole thing of like Vivi Comics and basically Vivi being given the digital keys, comic keys to the kingdom going forward. I feel like they could have been like, hey guys, we got to put the Viviverse on pause without saying anything, right? We got to put this on pause. There's a big thing that we have to pivot to. And you, like, once we're ready to announce it, we will announce it, right? And that's one of my biggest things is like sometimes, like with transparency, there's things where you can be like, this is happening, we can't talk about it. But that's transparency as opposed to not saying anything and then people being misled or jumping to conclusions about, hey, this is where this, well, I say jumping to conclusions. We were told that the Viviverse was going to be done by like the end of 2022 or something, right? And then it was just like we got ghosted on that. That's not okay, right? And I was like, this is where like you're failing the community. But I made a video about Vivi and Akomi and how I think 2025 is the year. And one of the big reasons is we're seeing it with Ben Rose, man, and just like his leadership, and he's coming in. And when we saw the rollout of the app, and there was a ton of people who were super pissed about that. And what happened? Like he comes on, he like within a day, he's got Mitch on a video, and they're talking about like, hey, this is why we rolled it out, and here's you're gonna see things like improve, and like there's that accountability that I feel like it hasn't been there. That's now there, and that makes me extremely bullish. And so I'm excited to see what Ben like is able to do. Now David can focus on the IP, Dan can focus more on the Viviverse and build that out. And if there are hiccups or there's anything there, I am now seeing that Ben is willing to be transparent and talk about those. Here's the hiccups, and here's what we're working through, and be more transparent about that. I think that just in general will establish more trust. There's a lot of people who have a lot of mistrust with Vivi, and I can understand why, right? I'm never going to do that, right? So the only time that I get pissed is when people just like there's personal attacks involved, right? And I'm like, listen, there's a way to be frustrated and say this is not okay. and make like a professional like case for like, hey, like let me out there and do it in a professional manner, man. Like they're gonna listen a lot more to that. And I just see Ben really listening to the community and starting to make those changes. We've seen Mr. Falcon do like a live stream of the VV verse, right? And some of the things he's built. That was pretty awesome. And they're talking about that more and more people are going to be able to get into that in Q1. If it doesn't happen, there better be some communication as to why, and it better be a good reason, right? Because then I'm saying, okay, like now Ben's here and he's told us these things, and now it's not happening. Then I'll bring up those concerns. But anyways, yeah.
You're an OG. You've been around a while.
So I got into VV in March of 21.
21. So someone just said, who said you'll be able to quit your job? Do you remember when I believe it was Dan said that they want people in the VVverse being able to leave their jobs and actually work full time in the VVverse? Do you remember them saying that?
I don't remember that. He said that. Dan said that.
It was. I'm pretty sure it wasn't David. I think it was Dan because he was super excited talking about, I'm playing in the VVverse all day. This is what I do. I enjoy it. And then he was talking about Batman scaling walls. He said at some point, like he didn't make it seem like we're doing it tomorrow, but he said at some point the goal is to have people make it so you all can make this a living. Like you can quit your jobs and work in here type of thing. And yeah, that was literally the pitch. One of the pitches that sold me on it. I'll never forget it. That was one of those moments for me. Same with the Batman scaling walls. That was one of those moments that got me in the project that hard too. So yeah.
No, like look, like, and that's what I've said. Like when people have had legitimate complaints, like I don't ever jump on there and try to defend that. Like what's there to defend? I'm saying the transparency is important, and if we've been told these things, and then because here's what happens: businesses, I see this all the time, man. You get these companies, and they've got this like 5-year strategic plan, and they're like, "This is what we're going to do," and then something comes, and they've got a hard pivot, man. Hard pivot, right? And like, I'll give you a perfect example. Think about taxi companies, right? Back in 2009 in New York, right? Like taxi medallions worth like over $1 million, and like over like in its history, like taxi medallions, the values of those, all they did is go up, right? And if you talk to these companies and it's like, listen, man, like, have you ever thought like what if there's a competitor or something like, like, have you thought about diversifying or anything like that, right? And they're like, no, like we're good. Taxi medallions, all they do is go up, right? And then all of a sudden, like, bam, Uber comes in, right? And Lyft come in, and then all of a sudden, taxi medallions are worth like they're down 95% of their value, right? And where I'm going with that is like things pop up, and strategically businesses have to hard pivot. So I know that there's a lot of times where people were pissed about the original tokenomics of I wrote, me and Crypto Rain co-authored this article, says why Omi is my homie. And we laid out all these things. And one of the biggest things was those token burns that were going to happen. You know what I mean? And then the SEC came in and they started suing all of these projects, right? And they're saying, you're a security. Well, listen, man, token buybacks and then to burn, like that definitely puts you in the realm of a security. Right. And so they had to pivot. And like, so I just think that there's a lot of times where they've had to pivot. So if Dan was like, hey, we were planning on this being a game where you're going to Batman scale these walls and things, and then they've had to pivot, that's what the transparency is missing. And that's where a lot of people are upset, right? Is we were told that, and then we weren't told that it changed. Yeah. And that's where I am hoping that Ben Rose, and I'm seeing this, I've at least so far seen this, that transparency, that shift in like, we're gonna be talking about that. So here, Hello K here. So Hello K, just so you know, I want to be fully transparent. I'm never trying to like talk bad about people behind their backs. He says, correct. Dan did say people could work full time in the VVverse. Also mentioned people could race their DeLoreans in the VVverse on land they bought with the Omi. I do remember racing DeLoreans, that claim, right? And so I can understand why people were upset about some of these claims. And then if they pivoted, if that was their vision, if they pivoted, why they didn't tell us that? That's not okay. That transparency is there. But speaking of
the comics thing, that could have been a catalyst instead of turning into FUD. Like if they would have just been transparent about it, that was a huge deal. Like, and everybody could have been excited about that.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah. There's some major missed opportunities. I'm not saying that VV is perfect, right? Like, and like I hope, but like it's weird because what happens is people jump onto these new projects where it's just a promise as well, right? And that project hasn't had the time like Vivi's had to see if those promises actually come true. So then where the community gets disenfranchised and they're like, you promised us this and then this didn't happen. Like, so like they see this token go up, but they haven't experienced like that full trajectory of, does a project actually fulfill it? And I'm speaking from like having invested in like over 100 projects, man, and like pre-sale investments and like even just spot buying, like investing in things, but like we're promised this thing. And then it like, look, one of the projects, like it was an incredible idea. And like 2 months into them, like building, they come back and they're like, turns out the CEO took all the funds and like put it all on red to try to double the money to like make the project go bigger. And he lost it and rug. And it's just like, what? Like, I just experienced it all, man. And, so Kay, the reason I want to do this, Kay, like I want to give you a chance. My understanding is from looking at your wallet that you were airdropped some McFarlane Toys collectibles for being an advisor there. That's what it looks like on the blockchain. So if I am wrong on that, I'd love for you to go ahead and make a comment on there as to how I'm wrong on that. But that's what the blockchain looks like. You were airdropped in your wallet there, some McFarlane NFTs. And I don't see any money going out at any point in time for that. So it does look like you were paid in collectibles. So yeah, like I'd love for you to refute that. I have your wallet somewhere. I got to find it. But that's what it looked like when I did the research. If I'm wrong, again, I'm willing to admit that. Or if you want to come on stream, we can all have this chat, man. But these are the real things. And this is what I think is important, Cavell. Like, you do in your videos, you do have this very colorful personality, man. Like you sell it, and that's where I got to give you props on that. But when push comes to shove and you want to really talk about things, you can talk about that, and I appreciate that. So yeah. Anyways, I do think that the transparency is one of the biggest things that they really have to continue to move on. I think that will reestablish trust and that transparency of like, if we have to pivot, here's why. But what I've started to see, right, since Ben's come on is we got that new app. They've been updating. So one of the things he said is he's like, we pushed this out so quickly because there was a lot of technical debt. And basically now it's more modular and we can basically build on top of that a lot easier. And we can apply fixes a lot easier. And we're seeing that. We've seen so many updates. Like the community was like, why the heck isn't there a marketplace tab? Which was crazy for me. I was like that's like one of the first things. And then a lot of the flippers are like, wait a second, when I go to the marketplace now, you're not even listing the most recent list, right? So I can't snipe things. Like you're missing out on all this money. And they've been pivoting like that. And it's been doing a lot quicker than we've seen in the past, right? So those are some of the things that I think are important to take a step back and look at. And again, I'm looking at it from an investor standpoint with OMI and saying, I don't want to lose money, bro. No one wants to lose money, right? And if I'm sitting here saying, and it's funny because you get people that are just like, oh, you're trying to show your bags so that you can exit, right, and create this liquidity. I'm like, bro, I'm buying. People are dumping on me. I keep buying, you know, and I'm like, but I'm telling you why. But again, I'm so diversified that if OMI goes, listen, I have I have a decent bag. I have a pretty decent bag of crypto. If it all went to zero tomorrow, nothing in my life would change. I'd be pissed. I'd be like, what did I miss? Right? Like, how was I so wrong about all of these different projects? I'd be pissed about that. But nothing else in my life would change. I would just go on. Right? I think that that's very important. And so when people are sitting there, I'm so concerned about OMI, I've got to pump my bags. You could be more wrong is all. I believe in the project. I do think that digital collecting, I think digital is the way that things are going, Cavell. Digital is the way things are going, man. Like my kids, they interact on the iPad every single day, right? Like they read the books on the iPad. Everything is digital then. They love my digital VB collectibles, even though they can't touch them. They want to interact with them and they watch the screen all the time. And I think it's just going to get better from there. And so I do think that whether it's in the medium term or longer term, dude, I think that some of these first appearances where these major IPs are saying, this Todd is the first appearance of Batman on the blockchain, where they are saying that. I think that that's going to hold significant value down the line. And it may even hold it in the short term on some of these crypto pumps.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. Definitely a strong case for it.
It looks like I'm trying to convince myself, Cavell. I'm trying to convince myself.
I mean, you actually raised some good, interesting points to me. I mean, I definitely, especially the off the grid comparison. I didn't know a lot of that, and I'm actually going to probably get a bag of off the grid's token. What's their token or whatever that is? Like, how do you invest in that?
So I did a pre-sale. So they haven't actually done the TGE of their. So I don't own any guns tokens yet, right? Because they haven't actually like done the token generation event where they then distribute that out with the public sale and all those things. It's supposed to happen in Q1, right? So I had the opportunity to either buy the token or buy the nodes. The nodes were pricey, but one of the crazy things with the nodes is like if your node, so like depending on the rarity of the node, if your node generates one of the NFTs, it gets royalty on the sale of that NFT into perpetuity.
Wow.
So if one of your nodes generates some super rare NFT, it can be crazy money, right? But they were freaking pricey. Some of the common ones, the chance of minting an NFT was a lot lower percentage. I mean, it will mint stuff over time, right? But like, is it going to mint like a big one? Whereas like their biggest their biggest nodes, the most costliest nodes, had a way higher chance of minting more NFTs in general, and then obviously a higher chance of minting those big ones. But I think that listen, depending on the spot price that they list at, and the vesting period for off the grid is awesome for. Not for me. Like I don't get a lot of the percentage of my tokens. So typically, like, I don't know, it depends. And it's varied over the last 3 years, but like maybe vesting tokens, you might get 5% at TGE. And then it's like, vesting over 19 months or 10% at TGE. And then you get 10% quarterly or something like that. Off the grid is a lot lower than that. And it's over a pretty long time frame, right? I'll just say well into the bear market potentially. But I do think that video games, and why I'm stoked on this is like people who play video games don't care about a bull or bear market, right?
Yeah.
They just want to play the game. So like I'm very bullish on Web3 gaming in general, and I think that off the grid it could definitely be one of those. But hold on, I want to see because I brought that up to Kay. I want to see if Kay made any comments to see if he said anything. So yeah, there's this, and then I was talking about it, and then he says, "I sold all my OMI ages ago, along with VV stuff." Yeah, and he did. He did go into Bitcoin. He also went into IMX quite a bit. He talked about IMX. I'm sorry. I want to see if he had anything. Never told anyone to buy anything. I only told people what I was buying and why. LOL, nice try. I don't know if he's trying to talk to someone. I don't know who he's talking about. No, I was saying that my understanding is that you had called out Vivi for giving collectibles to their mods, being paid in collectibles. And then I said that according to your wall, it looks like you were paid by McFarlane Toys in their collectibles as well. I think he's talking about the token and why he sold. And yeah, he was. OG Vault says off the grid is fun, but Call of Duty took a lot of their players. Sleeping Comics is here. Look, man, we got 460 people in this stream right now chatting. So people are definitely interested in what you have to say as well. And okay, it doesn't look like Kay has refuted that or just addressed that comment there. But so yeah, if he's still watching, I'd love for him to comment to see if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, man, listen, at the end of the day, I think, again, people are going to be interested in different projects. There's reasons why, to sum this all up, there's reasons why people are upset at VV and OMI, and I won't refute a lot of that. I can understand that. I look at it from a holistic perspective and a long-term perspective is, does this change my investment thesis? And if it does, I'm transparent about that. Look, when I thought that they had removed Matt Groening's signature off of the Bart and Homer statue, I went on Randy's channel for an hour ranting about how I am not buying anything more. I'm like, if you can do that, None of this is worth anything. I was freaking out about that. Turns out I should have waited a little bit, because basically they were saying that they were updating something, and like it covered the signature, and then they put it back on. And I was like, okay. But that is a concern I think people need to be aware of, like with it, like not just Vivi, but most of the NFTs on Ethereum, they can change the image there. There's very few that have locked that ability to where like you can't change the image, right? So like you can have, I mean, I think Bored Ape Yacht Club is one of them, right? But like, and I don't know about doodles, but you might have like a doodle, right? Or a penguin, a pudgy penguin. And I don't know if they've released the ability, like lock that, and maybe they have, right? But there are a lot of projects out there where literally they could change the image on you. And then what's it worth? That's a risk people have to be aware of. Vivi has demonstrated that they can do that. Now they've upgraded stuff, right? But that's a risk that people need to be aware of. So anyways, that like, but people, going back to this, people have a right to be upset, but I'm looking at this long term, and I've laid out why I feel like there's a significant chance for Vivi and Ecomi to do very well in 2025. I think that with this lawsuit potentially behind them, if it's in their favor, if it's not in their favor, that could significantly hurt the token. People need to be aware of that. I mean, it could be really bad for the token. But from what I've read so far, it doesn't look like that's the case. It looks like things are going a lot more in Ecomi's favor there. So I think 2025 is going to be good. I think that regardless, whether it's Cavell, whether it's me, whether it's OG Vault, whether it's Foster Hill, whether any other freaking YouTuber out there, you guys got to own your own decisions and do your own research. We're going to provide our opinions. We're going to provide our spins on things. There's going to be biases. You do need to be aware of pump and dumpers, because they are out there in droves all over the place. And don't freaking trust anyone. Don't trust me, Cavell, anyone. Trust yourself and do your own research, right? And then at the end of the day, you can go home, and if you were wrong, just like me, if I'm wrong about Omi, I will own that. And if it goes to zero, it goes to zero, and I own that. I'm not complaining to anyone about that. You guys should do the same. But listen, I've been going way longer than I wanted, but I want to just leave you, like, Cavell, if you have anything else you want to say or any other questions you want to go over before we end the stream.
I mean, I think this was a great conversation. I actually enjoyed speaking with you. So yeah, a great perspective.
I enjoyed speaking with you, and apparently here's someone who doesn't want to take responsible. Oh man, dude! So if you drive your car into a pole, are you the same kind of person who's blaming the car? You know what I mean? Like I don't know what to do with you, man. Don't follow me. Don't watch my channel anymore, because like I'm gonna throw that right back at you, bro. You are 100% at fault, and if you can't own that, I don't know what to tell you, man. Wait a second. If people are attacking K, what is all planned? I don't know. Like immutable nodes, you've attacked me multiple times. Like I don't know what to say, but like no one should be attacking anyone here, right? I'm just pointing out things. I've been waiting for Kay to say anything about the McFarlane Toys things. He never has. So just let that lie as it is. But Cavell, I appreciate you jumping on and having this dialogue. You are much more personable in person. You know, like you definitely have that like personality on YouTube and on Twitter. But sitting down with you, I think you come off as a lot more reasonable individual. So it's been a pleasure, man.
The pleasure's mine.
All right.
Have a good one, man.
Sorry, what was that?
I said you have a good one, man.